Akani Simbine from South Africa is arguably the man of the year in 2025 when talking about the 100-meter dash. He is probably unstoppable considering what he has done at the Continental Tours, the Diamond Leagues, the Indoor 60. He is absolutely dominating various different races in a way that is arguably better than any other year in his entire career. And when looking forward to the 2025 World Championships, it's going to be hard to say that three men are going to stop Akani from getting on the podium for the first time in the 100 meters at either a Worlds or an Olympic Games. Now, that 100-meter medal has eluded Akani all throughout his entire career, dating back to 2016 when he first made an Olympic final in Rio that year, finishing in 5th place behind Usain Bolt, Justin Gatlin, Andre DeGrasse, and Johan Blake. Ever since then, he's finished 5th or 4th place at various different Worlds or Olympics, and every single year he has been fighting to get on that podium to finally bring home an individual medal for his country of South Africa. But there's a few things that he's been doing in 2025 to ensure that he's ready to actually get on that podium at the Tokyo World Championships later on in September this year. Now, let me circle back very quickly and talk about Akani's history at the World Championships and the Olympic Games. His first ever global championships was 2013 in Moscow, where he made the heats of the 100 meters. He then followed that up in 2015 at the Beijing World Championships, and he made the semifinals in the 100. Now, this is him starting to get a footing, starting to really come into his own, get the experience as a young athlete from South Africa. But just a year later in 2016, he made it to the finals of the 100 meters at the Olympic Games, finishing 5th place just behind Usain Bolt, Justin Gatlin, Andre DeGrasse, and Johan Blake. Again, this is his first Olympic Games and only his 3rd global championships. So to be able to not only make the final, but finish 5th place was a massive accomplishment and definitely spoke to the potential that he had going forward in the years to come. Well, fast forward to 2017, and he is one of the stronger athletes that year, but he does finish 5th place in the World Championships that year as well. Well, 2 years later at the Doha World Championships, he once again finishes just off the podium, this time in 4th place behind Christian Coleman, Justin Gatlin, and Andre DeGrasse. So now it does seem that Akani maybe isn't showing up as we would have liked him to, considering he's been able to make 3 consecutive finals and just miss a medal at the Global Championships. Then after the off year in 2020, he returns in 2021 to the Tokyo Olympic Games, once again makes a final, his 2nd Olympic final, but he finishes 4th place, the spot that seems to be consistently more of a trend year after year. Again, he does have that consistency and the ability to make every single final in every single year, but he just doesn't seem to be able to get over that hump and actually get on the podium. And on the outside looking in, this might be tough to look at, where it's like, oh, you're choking, oh, you're not showing up when it counts, oh, you can't do it. But from the athlete side and kind of the human side, this is probably very tough for Akani Simbine, where he's consistently doing his best. He's consistently improving when it comes to his times and his performances. He is consistently showing up when it counts the most, getting to those finals, but he's getting disappointed. He may potentially be losing some of that motivation and that focus because of all the outside noise telling him that, he can't do it. But he continues on and he keeps working and he keeps fighting. 2022, once again, makes the finals at the Eugene World Championships, but unfortunately finishes 5th place. 2023 is the first year that he actually does not make a global final. This time at the Budapest World Championships, he only makes it through into the semifinals, unfortunately doesn't qualify into the final. Finally, 2024 at the Olympic Games, Akani Simbine is arguably in the form of his life. He is hitting on all cylinders. He's been running extremely consistent throughout the year, gets those finals at those Olympic Games, his 3rd consecutive Olympic final, but he once again finishes 4th place, just 100th of a second off that podium. But he runs a personal best of 9.82 seconds. Personal best, national record for South Africa, literally the best race of his life. But unfortunately, the other guys ahead of him just edged him out. And this arguably was the closest 100-meter race that we've ever seen in Olympic or world history, with all the top guys only being separated by a few hundredths of a second. Now, this again does play into the narrative that he doesn't show up when it counts, and it definitely is going to bring a lot of doubts to, some people as we look forward to 2025. But like I said at the top, he's been fixing a lot of things. He's been extremely humble and understanding that he needs to learn and improve upon himself as a sprinter and as a competitor. So I think that 2025 is going to be a little bit different. Now, let's take a look at what he's actually done so far up to this point in the middle of May. Akani is undefeated undefeated in the 100 in every single one of his races so far. He ran 9.90 seconds in Botswana, 9.9 seconds in Xiamen Diamond League, 9.98 seconds at the Shanghai Diamond League, and 9.86 seconds at the Adidas Atlanta City Games. That 9.86 was slightly windy at plus 2.3 meters per second, but the 9.90 stands as the world lead and is not too far off his personal best of 9.82 seconds, which he ran at the Paris Olympic Games last year. On top of that, he actually broke a record with his 9.90 seconds, giving him 11 consecutive seasons under the 10-second barrier in the 100-meter dash. That actually surpassed Usain Bolt for the record, who had done it 10 consecutive years from 2008 all the way to 2017. Now, there's a caveat that Asafa Powell had done it on 13 consecutive years, breaking the sub 10-second barrier, but he was banned in 2013 for taking a stimulant, so his marks from that year unfortunately do not count. But that just speaks to the consistency that Akani Simbine has been displaying all throughout his career, from all the way back in 2013 when he first stepped foot at the World Championships in Moscow that year. But returning to 2025, he won the bronze medal at the World Indoor Championships for the first time, taking a full indoor season seriously, and he ran a best of 6.53 seconds in the 60 meters. He also won a gold medal on the 4x1 at the World Relays this year, carrying his team of South Africa to the top of the podium and just continuing the trajectory of success that they've shown since they got the silver medal at the Olympic Games last year. And finally, he is undefeated in every single outdoor race in 2025, from the 100 to the 4x1. Like I said, this year, Akani Simbine looks absolutely unstoppable. Now, like I noted, Akani Simbine chose to run a full indoor season in 2025 for the first time, leading all the way to the World Indoor Championships, where he got a bronze medal in the 60 meters. The reason he wanted to run an indoor season is to work on the first part of his race, the start and kind of the first 30 to 40 meters, to really ensure that he's able to be in the race a little bit earlier relative to previous years. Here's a clip.
We worked a lot on my starts. We worked a lot on my first phase. You know, that was like the big thing. When we went back home and Coach and I had a chat, it was all about how do we get myself in the fight earlier, because a lot of my races is that I always join the fight a little bit later and it's too late, you know. So now it's more about getting into the fight from the start when the gun goes off and not leaving it till the end. And that's why we went into the indoor season, and that's why we've been working so much on the first part of my race. And it's getting there. Still need a little bit more work, but it's getting there.
So like he said, he wants to be a lot more confident in the first part of his race and not leave things so late, where we've seen Akani year after year actually have a really strong second half and kind of surpass guys when it comes to the end of the race. Whether it was at the Olympic Games, where he really came on strong, though missed a medal, came on very strong in that second half. Or even if it was at the Shanghai Diamond League this year, where we saw that, you know, Kashane Thompson got out extremely fast, but Akani Simbine was able to track him down and surpass him at the very last moment. Akani doesn't want that to happen anymore. He wants to make sure that by the time he gets to 30, 40 meters into the race, he is alongside the rest of the guys. So by that time, he's going to be able to really hold his own and potentially pull away again to hopefully get a medal when we get to the World Championships later on this year. And it seems like Akani is getting a lot more confident as he does work through that at the top of 2025. Now, the other thing I love about Akani this year is that he's speaking very openly about the drive to actually be more successful, the drive to actually learn and improve. Though he's a veteran, like I said, he's been here since 2013. That was his first World Championships, and he's been making finals since the Olympic Games in 2016. Despite that, he's still open to learning, he's still open to growing and developing as a better sprinter in the 100 meters. And let's be real, this is not easy to do, where yes, you may have been missing the podium year after year, but as an experienced veteran, as someone who's still running very fast, you may be very comfortable and say, listen, I've been able to get fast despite all these things. I've been able to remain consistent despite all these things. And maybe I don't necessarily need to fix things. But at an older age, now in his 30s, he definitely is like, listen, let me take a step back. Let me listen to my coach. Let me listen to my team and ensure that I can fix certain things to make sure that I make better progress than I have done in years past.
I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's the experience is there, and I've been racing for a long time, but now I've put myself into a position where I'm learning again, which is for me really exciting, because I'm able to teach myself new things and learn new things about sprinting and, you know, become a new athlete now.
And this kind of speaks to Akani Simbine and his demeanor and his personality, where he is extremely humble and arguably is one of the most respectful athletes on the circuit right now when talking about the 100. Yes, he's one of the veterans. He's more experienced than essentially all these guys when it comes to making finals, at the Olympic Games and the World Championships. But he realizes, listen, yes, I'm a veteran, but I still need to make sure that I'm improving. I still have a ton of things to learn. I still respect every single one of my competitors, but he is still confident. He does believe that he's one of the best. He does believe that he deserves to be on that podium. He does believe that if he gets things right, that he's going to be on that podium. That's the mark of someone who's confident but not cocky. And I love that about Akani Simbine. Ever since I, again, first saw him at 2013, he made the heats at the World Championships in Moscow, and then went to 2015, made the semifinals, and then finally got to the finals at the Olympic Games in 2016. He's always come off as someone who's been very, very relaxed, very, very soft-spoken, and very, very humble in his, interactions with other people. And once I started to get the opportunity to interview him going back to 2022 at the World Championships, he really displayed those qualities face to face. And he's continued that on over the past couple years. And I think that's going to lead him to success again in 2025. Now, let's actually look at the competition that Akani Simbine is going to have to face when we get to the World Championships in Tokyo later on this year. Of course, you do have guys like a Noah Lyles, the Olympic champion and the defending world champion in the 100 from 2023 and 2024. You have Kashane Thompson, who made it to the Olympic Games for the first time ever last year in 2024 and came away with a silver medal. You also have Fred Kerley, who won a silver medal in 2021 and a bronze medal in 2024, actually just edging out Akani Simbine by 1/100th of a second. Then you have guys like a Marcel Jacobs, the former Olympic champion in the 100. You have Letsile Teboho, the World Championship silver medalist from 2023. Zarno Hughes, the bronze medalist from 2023 in the 100. You also have someone like Oblique Seville, who's consistently made finals in the 100 meters dating back to 2022. And then you have Kenny Bernarek. And I left him for last because I think that right now, at the top of 2025, Kenny Bernarek might be Akani Simbine's top competition as it relates to the 100 meters. Kenny Bernarek, he's of course running in Grand Slam track, so he's been able to race guys like Oblique Seville, like Zarno Hughes, like Akeem Blake, right? He's been able to take down all those guys and also run extremely fast in the process with a windy 9.7 seconds as well this year. But Akani Simbine, he's also been able to beat out guys, on the circuit, whether it's a Kashane Thompson or Letsile Teboho or Christian Coleman on the Diamond League circuit. He has been able to take down some of the top guys as well. So that's kind of the clash that I would like to see as it relates to the landscape of the 100 meters in 2025. That Kenny Bernarek versus Akani Simbine. Both kind of on different trajectories as it relates to the races they're competing in, but both looking absolutely unstoppable in the 100. Now, I don't actually think that we're going to see them go head-to-head in the 100 in 2025 prior to the World Championships, considering that Kenny Bernarek is running in Grand Slam track and he doesn't have as much time between Grand Slam and then the US trials and then the World Championships. So we may not see them actually go head-to-head. The only time that we actually have seen them race was at the Olympic Games last year, where Akani Simbine actually beat out Kenny B in both the semifinals and of course in the final at the Olympics. But outside of that, we haven't seen them go head-to-head. That is the race that I would like to see, but that may have to wait until the World Championships later on in September. The other thing I do want to address is the idea that Akani may be peaking too early or running too fast too early. I don't know if that's much of a concern when it comes to Simbine, considering, he's been able to actually show up at these global championships like I have said in the past. Remember, every single global championships that he's made in the final, he hasn't finished in last place or, run a slow time. It's just that all the other guys have showed up a little bit more. Look back to 2024. Like I just said, he ran a personal best of 9.82 seconds in that final. It's not like he underperformed in any capacity. It's just some of the other guys stepped up at the time when Akani wasn't able to, go a little bit faster. But he has been able to show up, and I don't think that him running fast now is any indication of, him, maybe not being able to improve when we get to the end of the season. I think that Akani Simbine understands what he's going to need to do to get on the podium at the Tokyo Olympics when we get down to September. All of these races now, it's just preparation. He's just working on things, whether it's his start, whether it's his execution in the first 30 meters. All those are just preparation for what's going to happen in September. But to close things out, like I said, Akani has been through a journey since 2013 when he first stepped foot at the World Championships in Moscow, all the way to 2016 when he first made his Olympic final, all the way up to 2024 when he made a third consecutive Olympic final and missed the podium by 1/100th of a second. I truly believe that Akani Simbine realizes he is a veteran of the sport right now. He is really showing some of the best, competition and best races that he's ever shown. And I don't think that three people are going to beat Akani Simbine in 2025 at the World Championships. Let me know what you think. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Always appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching.